The transfer window came to life over the weekend, and all it took was one Kevin De Bruyne story to shake things up. We're talking, of course, about the story of Kevin De Bruyne agreeing personal terms with Al-Ittihad, the Saudi Arabian club. Now, since that story came out over the weekend, there's been other reports and other stories and quotes have come out which seem to suggest that nothing, in fact, has been agreed. But it does leave us with a few questions. For instance, at 33 years old, should Kevin De Bruyne consider moving away from Manchester City? And secondly, if Saudi Arabia were to formally present an offer to Kevin De Bruyne, do you think he would take that money and move to Saudi Arabia? It's an interesting debate. It's an interesting topic. But let's start with this. Is Kevin De Bruyne still at the peak of his powers? Manchester City are looking to challenge for the best, for the top titles, for the Premier Leagues, for the Champions League. They need people at the top of their game. Kevin De Bruyne has been a great servant for Manchester City, but he's 33 years old. He's staring at the barrel of 34. He is heading towards his mid-30s. And my question is this. Is he still at the peak of his powers? Let's have a look at some of the stats, and you can make your mind up for yourself. And we're going to look at goal contributions, because I think that is essential. In 2019/2020, Kevin De Bruyne enjoyed a magnificent campaign. He played 35 Premier League games for Manchester City, scored 13 goals, made 20 assists, 33 goal contributions. And he picked up the Premier League Player of the Season award along the way. The year after, a few injuries along the way, just 25 appearances, 6 goals, 12 assists, 18 goal contributions. In 2021/2022, he made 30 appearances. He scored 15 goals, made 8 assists. That's 23 goal contributions. And again, he picked up the Premier League Player of the Season award for the second time. 2022/2023, 32 Premier League appearances, 7 goals, 16 assists. Once again, 23 goal contributions. That's back-to-back seasons now of 23 goal contributions. Now, let's have a look at this most recent campaign. 2023/2024 season. 18 Premier League appearances. 4 goals, 10 assists, 14 goal contributions. Let's face it, 14 goal contributions from 18 games is not bad, but Kevin De Bruyne missed half the season. A hamstring injury saw him out of action in August, and he came back in December. He missed half the season with a hamstring injury. Now, Kevin De Bruyne is not getting any younger. You've got to think that a player, especially in this position, perhaps there could be more on the way. He's got a history of these kind of injuries. Since joining Manchester City, he's had 12 muscular problems, 4 times with his hamstring, and he's not getting any younger. With the player staring down the barrel of 34 years of age, I'm starting to think that his peak years are behind him. And it's normal. It's not a criticism. It's just a statement of fact that the older you get, once you move past those peak years, the trajectory is downwards. You can't stay at the top of your game forever. And some of these stats that we've read out, I think we have seen the best of Kevin De Bruyne. And that is not to say that if Kevin De Bruyne stays for another season with Manchester City, that we won't see moments of magic. On the contrary, I think he's got plenty moments of magic still in the locker. But to produce some of these numbers, 2019/2020, 33 goal contributions in 35 appearances in the Premier League alone. Those kind of numbers, I think, are beyond him now that he's at the 33 years of age, heading towards 34, mid-30s. There's a few players out there who are like wine and get better with age. Very few. For the large majority, once you start hitting these numbers, mid-30s, late 30s, the only way is down. And that's normal. Again, it's not a criticism. It's just a statement of fact. And we've already mentioned the injuries. The older you get, the more prevalent the injuries. It can only get tougher. Another question is regarding motivation. Now, for someone like Kevin De Bruyne, this man has won everything. 6 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cups, 5 League Cups, Community Shield, Champions League title as well, 15 major honours as a player with Manchester City. Winning 15 major honours is a big achievement. And let's not forget, Kevin De Bruyne has picked up countless individual honours himself as well. So what about motivation? He has won everything there is to win on these shores. Do you think that there's a part of him going, I want a new challenge now. I've won everything there is to win. Time to move on. I want to try and attain something else. Now, I'm not saying that winning the Saudi Pro League is on the bucket list of every football player. Let's face it, it's not. But the financial rewards could certainly sway him. One man who would certainly play a big role in a potential transfer to Saudi Arabia is Michael Emenalano. Now, Michael Emenalano is the Saudi Pro League sporting director. He is also the man who was responsible for taking Kevin De Bruyne from Genk to Chelsea back in 2012. Over a decade ago. The two men are friends. The two men have a relationship. And now that Michael Emenalano is in charge in Saudi Arabia, that is a big plus for the Saudis. They have someone who could make a deal happen. Now, interestingly, Michael Emenalano was watching a Manchester City training session at the Club World Cup back in December. And De Bruyne referred to that when he was speaking to a Belgium newspaper. He said, and I quote, I saw him, mentioning obviously Michael Emenalano, at the Club World Cup. I know Michael, so it makes sense for us to have a chat, but it wasn't about that. By that he means a transfer. Whether it was about a transfer or not, doesn't matter. The fact remains, they have a relationship, they've done deals before, they could make deals in the future again. Another man pivotal to a deal would be Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola wants the strongest possible side, and Kevin De Bruyne so far remains a pivotal component of Pep Guardiola's team. When asked recently about Kevin De Bruyne, Pep Guardiola said, Kevin is not going. That is a big statement from Pep Guardiola. He's setting out the agenda. He's saying Kevin is not for sale, essentially, with that quote. Whether that happens or not, we shall see. But he certainly has a lot of influence, whether this deal takes place or not. There is a third aspect that will also play a big role in a potential deal. We've mentioned Michael Emenalano, we've mentioned Pep Guardiola. The third is money. Let's make no bones about it. The deal is going to come down to money. Now, Kevin De Bruyne is not broke, he's not struggling. £425,000 per week. This is a player who makes £1.73 million per month. He's not struggling. His kids are settled for life. His grandkids are settled for life. But let's face it, if he could make double that money, if he could make triple that money, would he take it? Of course he would. Would you take it? Of course you would. If you're a truck driver and you earn £2,000 per month and another company comes in and said, oh, we'll give you £4 for the same work, what are you going to do? You're going to take more money. It's the world we live in. Jordan Henderson, do you remember the controversy around him? He went, why? Because they're paying an extraordinary amount of money. You're not only setting your family for life, you're not setting up your kids for life, your grandkids for life. You're setting up your whole family for generations to come for life. Your great-great-grandkids, they will be fine. That's how much money we're talking about here. And as an individual, you kind of have a responsibility to set up your family the best you can. And if the opportunity's there, should you take it? Kevin De Bruyne has done his bit now in European football. He's won the Champions League. He's won so many Premier League titles with Manchester City. What else is there for him to win? At 33 years of age, he's got a few years now to perhaps cash in on this opportunity and go to Saudi Arabia. It would not surprise me. But listen to what he himself had to say about the money. Speaking to a Belgian newspaper, and I quote, he said, "I have more than enough money. But if an absurd amount comes, that is also for my family, my relatives, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and my friends." That is exactly what we've just been talking about. He could set up everyone in his life, in his circle, around for life and more. Now, he's not struggling by any stretch of the imagination as things stand, but it's still an exorbitant amount of money. It's a lot of money. And it would not surprise me if a concrete offer came in from the Saudis. It would not surprise me if he took it. I would take it. You would take it, if we're being honest. So what is the conclusion? Well, the conclusion is Kevin De Bruyne's peak is perhaps just gone past. Perhaps the Belgian midfielder now is on a slow downward decline. And I underline the word slow. He is still a magic man. He could still perform in the Premier League for 2, who knows, maybe 3 more years at the highest level. He's a magician. However, the peak years are perhaps now behind him. And at 33 years of age, coming up to 34, City may look to try and cash in on him. Who knows? Better than letting him go for free. And then again, the question of money. If a concrete offer comes in from Saudi Arabia, a formal offer is on the table for double, who knows, triple the amount, I think Kevin De Bruyne signs the deal and ends up in Saudi Arabia. Let me know what you think about the deal in the comments, and let me know what you think you would do if you were in his situation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.